Well, hello everybody, Bill Shaka here. Welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Keep in mind, I'm trying to keep these a little shorter than 5 minutes, so I hope you don't feel cheated, but the statistics are showing that people start dropping off after 2.5 to 3 minutes, so I'm trying to make my point very early on in this, giving you additional information if necessary, and trying to end in 4 minutes, but I'm trying not to change the name to the 4-Minute Motivator. So what shall we talk about today? The knock on the door. You know what? You have to answer the door, but you don't have to let them in. And here's what I'm talking about. This is kind of a metaphor for our thoughts. Sometimes, many times, most times, maybe all the time, we can't stop bad thoughts from popping into our head. Remember in the first Ghostbusters, before the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man appeared, Dan Aykroyd said, "I can't help it. It just popped into my head." And there was a 50-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walking through Fifth Avenue. Well, the same thing occurs with negative thoughts. We can't stop negative thoughts from popping into our mind. We can't stop poor thoughts from popping into our mind. It happens. Who knows why? Maybe there's this synaptic flotsam and jetsam that's occurring somewhere in our electrochemical soup, but it happens. However, we don't have to entertain those thoughts. We don't have to give them credence. We don't have to let them in. They could knock at the door. We can open the door and we can say goodbye. We don't necessarily have to let them in. Now, unfortunately, let me adjust the selfie stick a little bit here. Unfortunately, many times, a negative thought that enters into our head, especially if it's about somebody else that we don't like or whatever, somebody that's caused problems for us, we want to entertain that thought. We want to try to move it to its logical conclusion. In other words, the door opened up, it was a negative thought, we invited them in for tea and biscuits. Stop that. We may not be able to handle the negative thoughts that are entering into our mind, but you know what we can handle? We can handle whether or not we are going to explore those thoughts. This is the law of displacement. Two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Thoughts are physical things. They are electrochemical soups. Electricity, chemistry, these things are real. They cannot occupy the same spot at the same time. Thus, if you have a negative thought and you decide to replace it, aka displace it with a positive thought, the negative thought goes away. And the choice is yours. And that's the key to this whole thing. Whether it's a positive thought that pops into your head or whether it's a negative thought, you, ladies and gentlemen, you have the choice as to whether or not you're going to nurture that thought. If it's a positive thought and you want to explore it further and you want to do what you can to take that thought and expand upon it, wonderful. If it's a negative thought, you have the ability to stop it right there, cut its roots off, and keep moving forward. The choice is yours. Remember, you can't help the knock on the door. That's going to happen. You decide whether you let that in your house or not. The negative thought's there, but don't let it in. Replace it with a positive thought. Bill Shaka thanking you for your time. Looking forward to seeing you in the next edition of the 5-Minute Motivator. Bye.